Are you there?
Yeah, so Times of India, you got the terrible phone connection. But what I think is what he's asking is that the songs that you've come up with week after week have become such a huge part of your character. How do you end up coming up with some of this stuff and the direction that you've been taking it?
Yeah. What I normally do is that I travel into whatever city, town, country it is, and I try to take in the landscape. I try to, observe the city, observe the people, and then from there I get inspiration as to write my song. Are these people that I like? Are these people that I don't like? Is this a city that I would like to hang out in? Or is it a city I'd like to leave immediately?
Very good. Any specific thing about India I'm asking again? Because you have a really good reaction from the Indian crowd when you were here in India.
Yeah, he's talking about the reaction you had from the India crowd.
Yeah. Okay. So, India, the reaction was really amazing considering what I do is I speak honestly. And I got there and I said, there was cows and monkeys and all kinds of animals running on the street, and I just could not wait to get out of there. And for whatever reason, the Indian crowd there, they were eating it up. And I guess that's just a testament to me as being a great performer.
And one final question about the Symphony of Destruction with Strowman. How did that come out? How did you guys plan it out, the entire thing?
Yeah, if you didn't get that, he's asking your current rivalry with Braun Strowman, and how do you feel about being considered the underdog in that matchup?
Yeah. Well, I always feel like I'm the underdog in every situation. It's just been my life story. But Braun Strowman is an extreme example. The man is a giant. He's got incredible strength. So I am working diligently to figure out a way to defeat the monster among men.
Thanks. We're going to move over to Sportskeeda.
Thank you. Hey, Joe. That was...
Hey, am I audible?
Hold on one second. What were you saying, Elias?
I just want to let you know I couldn't understand anything just because of the connection.
Yeah, perfect. I think Times of India, we had that issue last week too. Sorry, hopefully that me trying to understand your questions through the broken phone line. Okay, thanks. We'll move over to Sportskeeda.
Yes.
I hope I'm audible.
Excuse me?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, all right.
Okay, cool. So, Elias, the first question I want to ask you. So, Triple H once said that, you were fast-tracked onto the main roster. So, why do you feel that your character has seen a lot more success on Raw than, as compared to NXT?
So, first off, it sounded like I heard the term fast-tracked, which I actually think is the opposite of what it was. I had spent a long time in NXT before I got to the main roster. But what I think the main difference is that what I was doing on live events during my time in NXT is what I brought to television and on the main roster. So a lot of people only got to see me in short little bursts on NXT, maybe 30 seconds at a time on the guitar or maybe a few minutes in the ring. And Monday Night Raw has given me a lot more time and freedom to express myself.
Okay, my second question is, like I said, on Raw, you've seen a lot of success so far. So how has it been for you on a personal level, being able to, suddenly, like now you're on main events, you've been John Cena, you've been part of Elimination Chamber. How has it been taking in all this, success on a personal level?
It's definitely satisfying to be in the main events and to reach whatever certain level of success you want to put out there. But as far as personal goals and personal feelings, I feel like I'm not even close to where I want to be yet. I feel like I'm only starting my path towards the very top here. So, all that stuff as far as success and where I'm at now, that's for everybody else to decide. I know where I want to be.
Okay, my last question is, what do you have planned for your performance at WrestleMania?
At WrestleMania, the performance will be something unlike you have not seen Elias do yet. It's going to be, well, what we call it is the grandest spectacle of them all, right? And I am the grandest performer on Monday Night Raw. I'm the grandest performer in WWE. So it's only fitting that at WrestleMania, the biggest show we have, I put on the biggest performance you've ever seen.
Thank you so much for your time, Elias.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll move over to Josh.
Hi, Elias. How's it going?
All right. How are you, Josh?
I'm very good, thanks, mate. You talked about the amount of freedom you're getting on Raw. How much are you enjoying getting that freedom and seeing the crowd reactions as a result?
Well, imagine being an artist, being a performer, being a musician, being a wrestler, and just being able to do and say whatever you want, within reason, of course, knowing that it's television, and then just putting it out there and getting feedback right away. It's really everything you could ask for.
Yeah. Who would you cite as your musical influences, and are any of them worthy of walking with Elias?
There are a few worthy of walking with Elias. So Eric Clapton was a huge influence in my life. I used to fall asleep listening to Eric Clapton when I was a child, and it really just kind of absorbed into my brain. So Eric Clapton is up there, and I would love if Eric Clapton would walk with Elias.
Brilliant. And just finally, is singing Wonderwall by Oasis with Gallows Anderson on the UK tour the highlight of your career? And if not, what is? Yeah, singing Wonderwall on the UK tour was a fantastic time. So I gotta say, doing the whole UK tour was a great experience. The crowds, the passion they bring to everything that WWE puts out there was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. We loved having you here, and all the best for WrestleMania. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Ash Rose, you all right?
I'm all right. How you doing, Elias?
I'm doing fantastic. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm happy to walk with Elias today. I wanted to just pick up a point from Josh there. You said about your musical influence. What about the former WWE stars who are musicians, like Honky Tonk Man, Jeff Jarrett? What's your take on them? Do you have any influence from them?
No influence whatsoever. Whenever I got into wrestling and I decided what I wanted to be, I just looked within my own life, within things that I enjoy, and within things that I create, and that's how Elias came about.
Who were your influences growing up? What sort of WWE stars did you look up to when you were growing up watching wrestling?
Oh, I loved watching Macho Man Randy Savage. I loved Shawn Michaels. Kurt Angle was a favorite of mine. Eddie Guerrero. I loved Jake the Snake Roberts also.
Well, WrestleMania is on the horizon. What does it mean to you and to WWE stars in general? What does WrestleMania mean and the whole sort of weekend around it?
Well, it's the biggest show we've got, and it gets bigger every single year. So that, and I can only speak for myself, is where you want to be. You want to be performing on the biggest stage we got, the most eyes on us. And so for me, that's exactly what I want. I perform every week on Monday Night Raw in front of, thousands in attendance, millions watching. And now it's time for our biggest show of the year. I would like to be a huge part of WrestleMania for years to come.
I'm sure you will be. And finally, for me, one thing that you remind me of and you've maybe taken inspiration from was the Rock and his character back in the early 2000s. Would you like a guitar one-on-one with that version of the Rock at some point?
If the Rock wants to try and walk with Elias, he's more than welcome to. Now, keep in mind,
The Rock maybe did that 3, 4, 5 times, I don't know, a dozen times on television, but I'm doing this every single week. I'm doing it on the live events, so we've got hundreds of dates per year. So if The Rock thinks he could walk with Elias, he's more than welcome to try.
Well, I look forward to him trying. Cheers, Elias.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ash. Move over to Andy at HRH.
Hi, Elias. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
All the better now, thanks. Is there anyone in WWE at the moment that you would deem worthy enough to walk with Elias in a tag team?
No, absolutely not, Elias. I'm solo act. I have been a solo act, and I haven't come across anybody quite yet. And there's been quite a few that have tried to walk with Elias. The Miz, Taraj, Sheamus, and Cesaro come to mind, but so far, none of them are sticking. And Elias is a solo act, and I believe that's how it'll stay.
Great. Obviously, with the kind of musical influence, I'm interested to know what's on your music playlist right now.
Right now, I've got Bruce Springsteen, Johnny Cash, and Chris Stapleton on a loop. I love all those guys. They've got great voices, all good on guitar, incredible musicians, incredible artists.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost been a year, it'll be a year next month since you debuted on Raw. Were you excited to be introduced the way you were, like kind of walking through the crowd and passing over the stage during matches? Is that something you kind of had discussions about doing that first?
Yeah, there was not much discussion, but of course it was fantastic. Coming from NXT and being the Drifter, I thought it made perfect sense that, I would drift through the crowd and I would drift through backstage until I landed on Monday Night Raw and was no longer drifting. I found my place.
And just finally, if you had the choice of facing anyone past or present at WrestleMania, who would you choose?
Top choice has to be The Undertaker. Of course, given everything he's done in his life, his career, and I would like to be the one that really finishes him off, if that's the case. And other people, past and present, Macho Man Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, Jake the Snake. I listed these guys as people I watched growing up, and to get in the ring with them would be fantastic.
Great, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks. We'll move out to Nims in Australia.
Hey Elias, how are you going?
I'm going great. How are you?
Good, thank you, Elias. First off, I have to apologise for my country because the last time you were in Australia was the 2016 NXT tour and the crowd wasn't exactly getting behind your acoustic performance, so I can only apologise for that. So hopefully next time you come out here, you'll give us a second chance.
It sounds like you might be the one smart person in Australia. We'll have to see when I come in a few months, but yeah, man, they weren't so appreciative of my talents.
Elias, I was at WrestleMania last year, and in NXT at the Takeover, I happened to see there was someone who was very similar to you. I don't know whether you know him, but he went by the name of El Vagabundo, and he got one hell of a crowd reaction. I'm not sure whether you were there that night, but what did you think when you heard about him?
Right. People have been throwing this name at me for months now, El Vagabundo. I don't know much about this guy. I feel like, people say he tried to kind of like steal my act to try to do what I did, was wearing a mask or something like that. I mean, it's flattering to one extent, and for whatever reason, I guess people felt bad for him, so they reacted well. But if I ever cross paths with El Vagabundo, I'll have a word with him about this.
I really don't want to be in El Vagabundo's mask right now, but your T-shirts, they've been selling like hotcakes. I think it's the number 2 shirt on WWE Shop, but I know you don't have much time to step into a studio, but maybe what are the chances that we could see some Elias albums available for the WWE Universe to get their hands on?
I'd say the chances of that are fantastic. It's what I do. I write songs. I perform them. It makes total sense to me. And as far as the T-shirts go and all that, I guess if that's an indication, then I would imagine people would, be excited to buy an album from Elias.
Well, Elias, thank you for giving me a bit of your time this morning, and hopefully we'll see you in Australia, and there'll be a much more favourable reaction this time around as more people want to walk with Elias.
I would hope so.
We'll move over to Alejandro at Sport.
Hello, Elias. How are you doing?
Hello.
You always like to sing a good song in WWE events, as you already said. We've seen some music superstar perform at WWE events in the past. If you could choose any personality from the music world to have any kind of segment in WrestleMania with you, who would you choose?
Any kind of personality. Let's see. You know what? Let's do something with Jimmy Fallon. He showed up at the show in New York City. He sat there with a little smug look on his face as he judged me from the crowd. So I'd like to see Jimmy Fallon show up and, let's see if he's got what it takes to walk with Elias.
One last question. After your loss at the Elimination Chamber last month, what's your next goal? Do you have any plans in mind going into WrestleMania, maybe the Deja Memorial Battle Royale, something in mind?
Well, I have tons of plans, but they all stay inside Elias's mind. That's not for anybody to know but myself. But you can believe that at WrestleMania I will be giving a great performance, one of the greatest you have ever seen, and that's because it'll be on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. It's going to be something special, something you want to watch.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alejandro. We'll move over to Vicente at Mundo Deportivo.
Hi, Elias. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you for your time. You're in a very good spot. Looking forward to WrestleMania, but still don't have a match. It happens the same to John Cena, for example. If you could pick an opponent for WrestleMania, would you rather choose John Cena or Braun Strowman?
Well, you know what? After the way things went down with Braun Strowman last week, I absolutely have some unfinished business with him. He went and smashed the piano on me, but guess what? I'm here right now. I'm talking to you, and I'm saying that, I've got to take care of Braun Strowman one way or another. I'm definitely not done with him. But if Braun Strowman's not up for the challenge, I'll absolutely step up to John Cena.
Being one of the top superstars on the Raw roster right now and keeping in mind the great achievements you already made, when you think of a long career in the company, how would you like to be remembered?
As the greatest performer that ever came into WWE.
Oh, that's a great statement. And finally, Monday Night Raw roster will be touring around Europe in the coming month of May with 2 dates in Spain. And I think it will be your first time maybe in my country. Do you want to say or sing something to the WWE Universe in Spain?
It will be my first time in Spain. I can guarantee you that I will be singing songs every single night. But until I get there, I can't tell you what those songs will be about. I need to come in, I need to see the country, see the people, and from there I will be inspired to write a song.
Thank you so much, man, and good luck at Mania.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vicente. We'll move over to Miguel at Neox.
Hi, Elias. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you?
Fine, thanks. What did you feel in the Elimination Chamber?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, what did you feel in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, like how do you feel about your performance in the Elimination Chamber? And how did you feel being in the event?
Okay, so opening up the Elimination Chamber was fantastic. I was in Las Vegas. I gave them a show like they have never seen. And then being in that match, in that structure, it was a wild experience. First time for me. I got in there with the top of the top in WWE, and I made my mark. And sure, Braun Strowman maybe got the best of me that night, but he's going to get what's coming to him.
Okay, would you like to have a WrestleMania entrance with people walking behind you?
That is creative. The idea of everyone walking with Elias, but you know what? I haven't put too much thought into the entrance. All I'm worried about is the performance when I'm sitting in the ring on my stool doing my thing. So if everyone at WrestleMania wants to walk with Elias, or if there is an entrance where people are walking with me, I'm up for anything.
Okay, and my last question, who NXT wrestler would you like to see in the main roster?
Riddick Moss and Lars Sullivan. I both believe they will make a huge impact on the main roster sooner rather than later.
Okay, Elias, thank you so much for your time, and see you in New Orleans. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miguel. We'll move over to WWE France.
Everyone, thank you. First question for you. Sorry, one question. Yes. So you said that your biggest inspiration in the ring are Shawn Michaels, Macho Man, Jake the Snake. But who are your biggest inspiration outside the ring?
Outside the ring, I love artists that speak honestly. So I like Bruce Springsteen. I like Chris Stapleton. They're artists. They communicate through music, and they speak honestly. So anybody that is being honest and real, I can have some respect for.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have any advice for all the one who wants to become a WWE superstar? Because for you, it was a long journey to be now on Raw. So do you have any advice for them?
Yes, it's a long, hard road, and it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. But you know what? You keep your head down, you work hard, you do what you got to do, and you know what? If you get there, it's going to be worth it.
Okay, great. So in 27 days, it's going to be WrestleMania. Who would you like to face at the greatest stage on them all? Or what kind of WrestleMania moment would you like to have?
For me, it's not that important who I face. It's about getting to the biggest stage we've got. I'm a performer, and I'm ready to perform on the grandest spectacle of them all. So for me, it is about the performance, whether it's Braun Strowman, John Cena, 20 men in a battle royal, Chris Jericho, Jimmy Fallon, anybody. It could be anybody. It's about getting there for me.
Great. And 1 month after, you will be in Paris. You've been announced for Paris and Geneva, May 16th and May 19th. Do you know any French singers? Which one do you like?
I know many French singers, but I'm not going to give them any popularity, any press right now by putting them out there in the news media. But, you know, I can tell you I'm going to be coming to Paris. I'm going to be coming to France. And I will be the best French performer at that time. I guarantee that.
Okay, great. One last question. You know that Paris has been really important for artists like Freddie Mercury, Jim Morrison. Is Paris also important for you, and why?
Yeah, well, listen, you act like you're giving me new knowledge. I have all knowledge, okay? I know what it means to be there in Paris as an artist and perform. So I'm going to keep all that stuff inside, all right? But when people come out and see me perform, they're going to feel how powerful it is for Elias to be in their presence in Paris, no less.
Great, thank you very much. And you will be in Switzerland 3 days before. Will it be the same, because the culture of music is not that big in Switzerland? So what do you have to say to all the Switzerland, to the Swiss fans, of WWE?
Yes, I will usher in an importance of music. I will make sure that music is the number one priority in Switzerland after I show up there. That's the power of walking with Elias.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Have a great day and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll stay in France with Catch.
Yeah, Jeremy here from France. Jeremy Honey.
Go ahead.
Sorry? I'm Jeremy Honey from France.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Elias. Hi, Elias. Thanks for sharing your time. What does a typical day look like in Elias? What is your morning routine?
Oh, I have no morning routine. Everything I do is focused on my performance of the night, which I perform every night of the week, one way or another. So from the second my eyes open to the second they close, I am focused on giving the absolute best performance musically in the ring. As I speak to whatever audience I must speak to, I get them to follow me, to walk with me.
Okay, thanks. Do you think is there any superstar of WWE you think would deserve that you write one theme song for him?
Sorry, any superstar? Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Is there any superstar of WWE you think would deserve that you write one theme song for him, on music, something?
A theme song for them. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
No. There is absolutely no one deserving of that because my talents are above every other WWE superstar. So if I was ever going to write a theme song for anyone, it would be for myself, but I don't need one because I am already in the ring, ready to perform, and I've written a new song for whatever audience I am in front of that night. So the answer, in short, no.
Okay, thanks. I got just one last question, which is the most important. Have you already thought about the day when the WWE Universe will want to run with Elias? How will you manage this situation?
Now listen. I have never asked if anybody wants to run with Elias. Walking is the most important thing any human can do, and that's why I asked if you will walk with Elias. Now, very soon, I am certain that millions of people across the world will, in unison, walk with Elias. As far as running, no. That is not going to happen.
Okay, thanks for your advice, Elias.
Thank you. Is there anybody that I missed? I heard a couple of beats of people joining.
Yeah, hi Joe, it's Andrew here.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi Elias, nice to speak to you.
Hello.
You've kept tweaking your character as you've gone on from drifter to rockstar, and what do you think would be the best or the most fun direction for you to go in, like a rock star with the ego out of control, or could you see yourself reinventing yourself as a teeny bop singer? Or I know you're a big Norah Jones fan, could we see a more soulful version of Elias?
Well, listen, like any great rock star like I am, I can play all avenues of a rock star story, okay? So as far as teeny bopper, I don't know if I picture myself in that light. But absolutely, there's many routes, many avenues I can go. You call it tweaking my character, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm just living life and taking it as is. I was a drifter. I literally was playing guitar outside of small armories in Florida. And right now, even later tonight, I will be playing for 10,000 people in an arena and millions of people across the world. My life is different now, and it will continue to change.
And speaking of difference, physically you've completely reinvented yourself. Like I remember seeing you as heavy metal Jesus, Logan Sholo, and you looked like a kind of hipster, skinny Chris Cornell. Now you've got this massive chest, huge triceps, and what's that like to undergo such a massive physical change, especially when you're on the road 300 days a year and you have, like you said, you have to work on your character, work on your in-ring, your songs. How difficult is that physical transformation?
Physical transformation is just as important as anything else, and in many cases it's the most important thing. You take care of your physical well-being, you take care of your mental well-being, and it will make you the
in my case, the greatest performer you can be. So it's an absolute high priority for me. It is something I focus on daily, hourly, minutely. Everything I consume, everything I put out, it's a major part of my life.
And you started off initially, you had a trial match with Dean Ambrose. You didn't get the nod that time. Eventually you did get to NXT, but never got to do a takeover. From a mental standpoint, how difficult it is to deal with that rejection, and did you ever feel, I know you have a business degree and you kind of had other options, did it ever cross your mind maybe this wasn't going to happen to you and maybe thought about walking away?
No, that thought never crossed my mind, and many people would ask me a very similar question, because you get told no many times, and those thoughts can creep into your head, but I always had belief in myself. I still have belief in myself, and I am certain there are people out there that may still not believe in me, so it is a regular daily approach to prove those wrong, prove myself correct.
And finally, one question here. If you could hit any person outside of the WWE universe with a guitar, who would that be?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
If you could hit one person outside of the WWE universe with a guitar, who would that be?
Right now, I would say you, because the attitude you're giving me on this phone, you make your observations about me as Heavy Metal Jesus early on. You've got your jokes and things like that. You think you know me better than you know me. Yeah, I'm going to go with you.
Okay, so I think I might avoid the May show in Dublin. Thanks very much for your time, Elias.
Thank you.